lights go out. Good start by Colin Spicer from the second position on the grid. Can he get the march on Ryan Yarrow as they go down towards the first corner? It looks like he can, so I think it's Colin Spicer then that goes into the lead of the race. There's 87 Tom Johnston, so a few different names up towards the sharp end of the field for at least the first few laps of this Sports 1000 race. Looks like Spicer from Yarrow then as they head down into the second corner at Beckett's. It's James Walker third, Carl Austin fourth, Colin Chapman fifth. That's the way of things then, Matt, as they make their way along the Wellington Straight for the first time in this race with the quick drivers trying to work their way through.
Yeah, how long will it take them to get through as well? Already, Michael Root's making light work of some of the traffic. Number 5 up the inside. He's going to have to be careful though, because everyone vying for the same position in towards the left-hander. That's Daniel Lana a little bit wide, so he's gained a couple of positions, but then runs wide in towards Brooklands. There's Michael Roots as everyone turns their way through the cement dust, which was laid down after that race we just had. So yeah, very eventful start there, but a few positions already being made by those lower down the field. But it is going to be Colin Spicer who comes through to lead lap number 1. Second place is Ryan Yarrow from the front row, and then third place for James Walker across the line in the Spire. But we'll keep an eye on the quick ones like Newman, Roots, and of course Lana as well.
Yeah, there is James Walker in third place at the moment then, so Colin Spicer managing to hold on to the lead of the race from Ryan Yarrow here. Walker in third, so it's Spies in the first 3 positions at the moment. In fact, the first 5 positions at the moment. The first non-Spy is now Michael Roots. He's got up to 6th position ahead of Tim Hovard. The reigning champion, Ryan Yarrow, thought about making a move on Colin Spicer. Then you see that Colin Spicer's car is for sale, and Colin has been developing with M&R, Mark Norton Racing, a new car which he hopes to have out for Anglesey in June. So watch out for that. In the meantime, this Spy is for sale. There, Tim Hovard being chased by number 21, Phil Hutchins. He was one of the drivers that started at the back of race 1, qualifying out of session. The exclusion of others has really gifted him a higher grid position for this second race. And he's making the most of it, having a good scrap with Tim Hovard. He's got Daniel Lana trying to come through behind him as well.
Yep, so another lap completed. Lap 3 we're on to. It's Michael Root who has made his way up into 6th place. So not too bad. He's a couple of positions better off than his teammate of Victor Newman, who's just there coming through now in car number 67. So that's the car in 8th place. And between both of them is number 24, which is Rich Miles, who's also come from a little bit lower down. As now Michael Root tries to make a move on number 63. Very late on the brakes there was Colin Chapman. That may just mean he runs wide in towards the left-hander at Brooklands. And now can Michael Root go right round the outside on some of that cement dust? No, he can't. He's going to be right in the best position though to get a good slipstream up towards the line as side by side for the lead, because Ryan Yarrow now goes ahead of number 31 Colin Spicer.
Yeah, he does. So Colin's lead lasted for just under 3 laps, but Ryan Yarrow, as we perhaps expected, takes the lead now. He started on pole position, of course. Spicer there, number 31 in second position. James Walker in third place, number 20. He's been a champion in Arctic B as it was at the time in the past as well. Drove previously in the front-engined category. He's out there in the ex-Duncan Hauler Spire. Rich Miles has made good progress, as well as Michael Roots there, and is right behind Roots actually. So those two in 6th and 7th places, with Newman in 8th. Looks like Roots is going to make up one more place now. He goes down the inside of number 63 Colin Chapman, up into 5th position then as he goes into Brooklands. So Roots gets that slightly slower car between himself and Rich Miles, but Miles immediately goes up the inside of Colin Chapman going into Luffield Corner, and I think we'll get through as well. So those two running 5th and 6th now, with Chapman down to 7th.
Yeah, good run here from Rich Miles. He's going with Michael Roots at the minute, and also Victor Newman now about to make a move through up into possibly 7th. No, he's going to stay in 8th place, or is he going to go to 7th? It's going to be close because Colin Chapman's in there as well. So some good battling at the minute as they work their way through this race, with almost 5 minutes to be completed as they come down in towards Maggots and Beckett's. There's the number 5 car of Michael Roots, which may be able to get past James Walker and also Colin Spicer on the straight. Let's see how much speed the Mattel has got. While all this goes on, Ryan Yarrow continues to extend his lead out front as they come down towards the left-hander at Brooklands. There goes Michael Roots, but he can't quite go to that inside line, can he? Because the cement dust is there, and it's a mistake from our third place man, James Walker. He takes a rotation. Luckily, he finds himself pointed in the right direction, but he has to fire the car back into life, and he was trying to defend there, wasn't he, from Michael Roots? Just wondered if he was put off by where Michael may end up in towards the corner.
Yeah, so Walker makes an error there. He'll be frustrated by that as Roots about to make up another position then. That's going to be Colin Spicer that he gets past. So he's up into second place now is Michael Roots. Now, how far behind? He's only just over 3 seconds behind Ryan Yarrow. So bear in mind, this is a 20-minute race. There's still 14 minutes or so to go. We still do have a race on our hands for the win here, don't we? It's not all over yet by any stretch of the imagination. Victor Newman now is ahead of Rich Miles as well, so Rich Miles' progress has stalled. He's still in 6th place, and it's Newman now that will be able to give chase of number 5, Michael Roots, the fellow Mattel driver, and as they both set off in pursuit of Ryan Yarrow, who's 3 seconds up the road.
Yeah, Rich Miles catches the cement dust that time, so almost runs into number 44, which is Carl Austin, but manages to avoid him. But can Rich Miles get through on Colin Spicer? At the beginning of this lap, he was second. He's going to be down into 5th place by the looks of it now, as Rich Miles gets up alongside on the inside. Across the line he goes, so Rich Miles and Colin Spicer together behind. I think Colin Chapman and Dan Lana are possibly side by side as well, so a good fight here for 6th on backwards. But you're right, the gap out front is going to surely come down between Michael Roots and Ryan Yarrow, and it's effectively like Ryan's been given a head start in this race, hasn't it? Because in race number 1, if it would have stayed as it was a 6-second victory for Michael Roots, and at the minute that gap is 3.5. So let's see if they can work together to close the gap down, but it's Yarrow that leads from Roots and Newman as they work their way past a slightly slower car there.
Yeah, that looks like a car that's going to go into retirement. I think that's the 77 car of Matt Thomas. He's only completed 2 laps according to our timing screen, so he's clearly got issues. I think he was not classified in the first race either. So Colin Chapman and Colin Spicer, who've often been in a battle together over the years, are in a battle again. They're just ahead of Carl Austin here as well. Carl Austin in the 44 car, who was a newcomer just a couple of years ago, the mechanic from Devon. But up front, it's Ryan Yarrow leading by 3.46 seconds from Michael Roots. He's 1.11 seconds clear of Victor Newman. There's that 77 car of Matt Thomas being lapped once again. There's the 2 Mattels together. Next car through should be Rich Miles. It is. There it is. 24 in 4th position now. Looking at the lap times, the best lap of the race so far is a 1:00.90 for Ryan Yarrow. Set on the last lap of the race, actually. In the earlier race, Victor Newman did a 60 seconds dead, exactly 60 seconds, just a couple of tenths outside Tim Gray's lap record from a few years ago.
Yeah, and if anything, the gap between the top 2 has actually grown on that previous lap. So let's see if Michael Roots can respond. Let's see if Victor Newman could do anything as well. He lost a little bit of ground to his teammate on that previous lap, but as they come up towards the line, Yarrow and Roots, the gap was 3.4. It's down to 3.1 because Roots now has done the new quickest lap of the race, 1.008. Scrap that because Victor Newman behind has gone slightly quicker, also to do a 1.008.85. So yeah, the gap is now starting to close. It's eyes forward, isn't it, for Michael Roots and Victor Newman, and with still half the race to go, there's plenty of time for that gap to come down as we watch the fight for 4th place, which continues now between Rich Miles and the number 63 car of Colin Chapman.
Yeah, Colin's not been able to make his escape really, Rich hasn't been able to make his escape from Colin Chapman in the way that I thought he might do. Last time through, in fact, Chapman did his best lap of the race at 1:01.47. He was 4 tenths faster on that lap than Rich Miles. Colin lapping almost as quickly as he did in the first race as well, when he did a 1:01.39. Coming up to the halfway mark of this race, which is likely to go for 20 laps, I would think. That's what we had in the first race. It is Ryan Yarrow still leading, but the gap is coming out because Michael Roots has just done the best lap of the race, a 1:00.58. So he's now eating into Ryan Yarrow's advantage. But the one that doesn't look like he's making much progress towards that leading group is Rich Miles in 4th place, car number 24.
No, he's kind of stagnant, isn't he, in that 4th place. The gap is about 4 seconds between him and Victor Newman, although that time through, Rich did do his personal best lap time, 101.3, although that is still slower than the 3 cars ahead of him. So Rich Miles continues to fall back, but I think the main point for Rich now is to keep Colin Chapman at bay, and also Colin Spicer is not too far adrift in that number 31 machine, the black and red car, which, as Ian mentioned, is for sale. As behind, Dan Lana now tries to make up a position, again gets on that cement dust, just makes the car a little bit squirrely coming down towards Brooklands. So in a move that could have happened and probably should have happened, Dan Lana doesn't go through past on the number 44 car of Carl Austin. So they remain as they were for 7th and 8th places. But now Dan Lana gets a much better run through the final corner. He comes up towards the line and he may have a chance of diving to the inside at Cops Corner. So watch out for number 6, Dan Lana. This time does now go through to get himself up into 7th place.
Yeah, Lana, who did 3 seasons of RGB racing, it was then between 2015 and 2018, running as a privateer, as a solution architect at Jaguar Land Rover, making his return to racing. What he admits is a bit of a battered Mittel, but still quick, he says, and he's proven that to be the case. He's lapping in the, or capable of lapping the low 1-minute ones in this race so far. Up front, Roots has taken another half a second out of Ryan Yarrow, by the way, so the gap now first to second is barely 2 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on how that pans out. So watch the Jonathan McGill car go through. He's chasing after number 49, Tony Gaunt. Tony from Belper, semi-retired these days. The orange and white car, you can just see towards the back of the shot, just turning through. That's a self-designed and built car, which is certainly something to be very proud of. He has raced that car since 2012, previously racing in kit cars since 2006 and RGB since 2009, and obviously now it's known as Sports 1000. He didn't design and build that car to go rally crossing in though, which is exactly what he's just done, and allowed Jonathan McGill to go through.
Yeah, only loses the 1 position, but a little bit of dirt kicked up there to give the left-hand side of the car a little bit more of a lesser finish. But on they battle now for places around 14th and 15th places. Just to update you on what happened at the front that time, the gap came down even further. So Michael Roots now is only 1.3 seconds adrift. So more inroads being made for the victory here between Ryan Yarrow and Michael Roots, and as they go past our commentary position this time, I think it's come down even further between the top 2. So some really good laps now being set by Michael Roots, but I think it's the man in 3rd place, that of Victor Newman, that we can see now, car number 67, which again is the quickest man on circuit. So these 3 are really concertinaing together, and it's Ryan Yarrow before too much longer, which will be feeling the pressure from behind from these 2 light blue liveried cars. And it's not going to be too much longer, I don't think, Ian, before they're right with the race leader.
I suspect that Ryan Yarrow wasn't expecting to feel the breath on his neck of Michael Roots during the course of this race, with Roots, of course, having to start virtually at the back. He was excluded. There were several cars excluded, though, so there were several cars behind him still. He wasn't right at the back of the field, but he was not where he was expecting to be on the grid, nor too was Victor Newman. So 5 car of Roots comes through. The gap was 0.99 at the end of the previous lap. Does it come down again? The answer is yes, it has, to 2/3 of a second, so it's come down by about 3/10 that time. Yarrow is probably going to have 7 laps to try and defend his lead here, and that's going to be awfully hard work, because now Michael Roots will be able to pick up the tow. We've got the 42 car of Andrew Timpson ahead of them. They'll need to lap him. They'll probably get him down the Wellington straight though, which is not the worst place to catch him. And I just wonder as well, if Ryan Yarrow and Michael Roots start to slow each other up, whether Victor Newman, who's still about 1.5 seconds behind them, whether he will start to come into the equation a bit more as well.
Yeah, Victor Newman there in 3rd place. Didn't make too much of ground on the top 2 that time. He was in fact the slowest. No, he wasn't. It was Ryan Yarrow who was the slowest of the 3, but Victor Newman slower than he once was before. So it's game on here for the race victory. We've got 5 and 3/4 minutes to go as they come through, but it's still Ryan Yarrow that heads the way. And I wonder if they're going to catch any more traffic. There's a little bit that's gone through, but they may just escape it before the end of this one.
Yep, it's. I think traffic will come into play again before the end. Ian Hutchinson's the next car up the road that they'll need to lap. He's about 15 seconds ahead, but he's lapping 3 or 4 seconds low, so I think they will catch those back markers towards the end of the race. So gap stayed pretty static on that lap. 0.65 seconds is now the difference between number 1 Ryan Yarrow and number 5 Michael Roots. Victor Newman got marginally closer than he was on the previous lap as well. Rich Miles just did his personal best lap of the race, so he's getting away from Colin Chapman now, but not really making any inroads on the leaders. And the 77 car, I can tell you, of Matt Thomas coming into the pit lane as well. That's the Spire GT3, I think the ex-Jason Stowe car that's coming into the pit lane. But with less than 5 minutes to go now, very much a race on. Ryan Yarrow against Michael Roots for victory in round 2 of the Rymax Lubricants Sports 1000 Championship.
And this is by sure the closest it's been so far. Is this the move for Michael Roots? Very late on the brakes, trying to get to the inside of Ryan Yarrow. Ryan sees him coming, but keeps that outside line to keep the momentum going as well. But across the line, less than 0.3 of a second between the two of them. And watch out now for Victor Newman, because as you said, Ian, he's not too far adrift with the squabbling that's now starting to begin. I think Victor Newman is almost close enough to start to pick up a tow from the top two, because that time round, he again set the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 0.16. And again, it's Michael Roots who dives out from the rear of Ryan Yarrow's car. He tries to go to the outside line in towards Brooklands, but he's not quite brave enough to get the job done. So now Ryan Yarrow is going to have to defend for his life here with 4 minutes to go. And just as he does that, look who's there. Victor Newman has well and truly now caught the second place man.
Well, Newman is closer to Roots than Roots is to Yarrow now as they go over the line. 16 laps completed. I expect that means there's 4 laps to go in this race. Half a second first to second, 0.2 seconds to third. So a 3-car fight, and Rich Miles in 4th place, just not lapping quite as quickly as those. He's lapping in the 1 minute ones, whereas all of the others have broken into the 1 minute, the 60-second mark. Not broken the 60-second mark and got into the 59s at all during the course of the day, but who knows, might see that before the end of the race. Or number 9, Ian Hutchinson, who was the first back marker that they were going to catch, has, well, he's been caught now because he's driven off the circuit, almost perhaps in avoidance of the leading cars at Beckett. So here come the leaders turning their way into Brooklands for the 17th time. Very tight between the first 3 cars in this race. 10 seconds back, Rich Miles in 4th, Colin Chapman 63 is 5th, and Dan Lana number 6 is rounding out the top 6 places.
You're right though, Ian, the gap between second and third is closer than it is to first to second, although it becomes very equidistant across the line on this occasion. So through they go, 0.4 between first and second, and it's now going to be, by the looks of things, pretty much 0.4 between second and third. So yeah, pretty equal there on that occasion, but it's kind of that thing now, isn't it? Michael Roots probably won't think Victor Newman's going to try anything silly, but you still have that focus in the back of your mind that your teammate and your competitor is there trying to make a move at the same time. So on they go now to the Wellington Straight for the 18th time of asking, just over 2 minutes remaining, and let's see who picks up the tow on this occasion. I think Victor Newman's going to be very close to make a move for second, but again, he's not quite late enough on the brakes to get anything done. So through they come now towards the completion of this lap, and they may just catch one more car before the end, but as you said, Ian Hutchinson made it quite easy, didn't he, just to step out of the way a couple of laps ago. As the race leader Ryan Yarrow runs very wide, that could give a chance now for Michael Roots to get through at Copse Corner.
Well, let's see if it's sapped Yarrow's momentum. There's one of the back markers turning through. There is Yarrow, there is Roots. Roots right in the tow, and Newman just behind him as well as they turn their way through Copse Corner, heading down to Maggots and Beckett's, with just this and one more lap to go at the end of it. Well, there is the number 1 car, and where is Roots? Roots has lost a little bit of time there through Copse by the looks of it, so all of a sudden Ryan Yarrow just a little bit more of an advantage.
He certainly is. So I just wonder if Michael Roots ran very wide through Copse Corner just to lose some momentum to the race leader, because it was definitely on the coattails going down towards Copse. He now tries in towards the left-hander at Brooklands, but still not quite close enough there. And the back marker will come into play, but where will it come into that play? Because it's going to come now onto the start-finish line, and if they can all get past before the first corner, then they should be safe. But if they catch them in the corner, then that's going to hold surely a few of them up as they come through now to get the last lap board in this last race of the day. So it's all on here. Top three together. Ryan Yarrow leads by 4/10. Second place is Michael Roots, and third place for Victor Newman. So here we go. Who's going to take the final spoils of the weekend? It's going to be the back marker, which is just going to be caught probably in the worst time for Ryan Yarrow.
Yeah, down at Beckett's, that's Matthew Manette getting well out of the way of all three leaders. So Yarrow leading, number 1, 5 Michael Roots in second place, 67 Victor Newman in third. Certainly Roots is close enough to challenge. He pulls out of the slipstream, he goes to the inside as they go into Brooklands corner. And can he do it? Can he do it? He leaves his braking very late. They're overlapping as they go into Brooklands corner. Oh, and a mistake from Ryan Yarrow. The car twitches sideways and Michael Root capitalises on it. Can 67 Victor Newman go around the outside as well? No, he can't. So is Michael Root now going to hang on this run to the flag. Ryan Yarrow has led for 19 3/4 laps of this race, but Michael Root wins it. He won on the road earlier on today. He wins on the road the second time. Let's hope the ride height's sufficient this time. But Michael Roots at the penultimate corner of the race pulls off a great move to take the win by 0.3 of a second from Ryan Yarrow.
Thank you very much, Ian. Yes, our final race winner of the weekend, Michael Roots. Honestly, Michael, I wasn't expecting to be speaking to you. I was expecting to be speaking to someone else. But what a lunge. If ever I've seen an advertisement for licking the stamp and sending it, it was that.
Yeah, it wasn't too much. It was a timed overtake.
It definitely didn't look it from our point of view.
He saw me coming, but yeah, I thought it was quite a nice move. But I had to do it for Scott and Ian. They've worked really hard on the car, Todd, and yeah, the kids said, yeah, we're going to sell the car if you don't win. So I had to try. So I didn't expect to win, but I thought Ryan would have just got away, to be honest, because he was pretty matched on the pace. But I think actually the changes that we made to the car made us even kind of quicker race pace, I think. So that's great.
No, it's excellent stuff, of course. The race there was fantastic. Now, talk us, what actually happened at the end of the first race? Because I heard it only at the beginning of this one. I'm thinking there was something to do with some ride height issues.
Yeah, I had a little, I think it was a back marker. You could see some of the cracking all on the bodywork. And it just knocked this bottom corner down 2 mil. But obviously that chucked us out. So hopefully we pass the ride height in a minute.
Let's hope so, because it was a fantastic race. It'd be a shame for it to not go on paper.
Yeah, thanks.
But excellent stuff. A great result for you. Again, second race of the day.
Thanks a lot.
Spot on.